Bigfoot, Ed. They want me to kill it.
We're gonna kill Bigfoot.
It's not walking on four legs.
I want to see it.
See what?
There is something out there.
What did it look like? Tell me, what did you see, Kusang? Tell me!
I see what men must not see.
Saw it? Yeah, I saw it. Jesus H. Christ, you satisfied?
Get the lights! Get the lights! There's no credible documented cases of a Sasquatch attack.
Shut up about a Sasquatch.
It's okay. There's nothing out here.
So, it's been difficult tracking Bigfoot, trying to film all this crap, getting fumbled around by a big hairy man. So, just skip ahead, because this is getting exhausting, this hunt. The next movie that we're covering in this Bigfoot review series is directed by Justin Lee, starring Kevin McKaylee and Todd A. Robinson, which there's tons of really cool information in this whole, everything that I was able to discover about this movie. Some stuff that really isn't known, because the DVD did not come with any special features, or to my knowledge, any voiceover of the audio commentary, sorry. So, sorry, winded. So anyway, let's get on with the review for 2018's Big Legend. Big Legend stars Kevin McKelly as Tyler Laird, also of Young Rock, The Kavanaughs, Badland, and The Reckoning. Todd A. Robinson plays Eli Verond, also of Badland, The Reckoning, The Librarians, and Grimm. Summer Spyro plays Natalie of Swell, Westworld, Platonic, and Animal Kingdom. Amanda Weiss plays Dr. Wheeler of Badland, Highlander, The Sandman, and many other TV roles. The iconic Lance Henriksen plays Jackson Wells from Disney's Tarzan, Aliens, Pumpkinhead, The Reckoning, and a lot of other Bigfoot horror movies. Adrian Barbeau plays Rita Laird of Starfield, Escape from New York, The Fog, Swamp Thing, God of War 3, and Batman the Animated Series. Ashley Platts plays Nurse Katie, also of Yellowstone, General Hospital, Grey's Anatomy, and Glow, and Scotty Mazguy plays a pickup driver as well as the Bigfoot itself. Justin Lee acts as both the writer and director of Big Legend. Also of Badland, Maneater, Swell, and The Reckoning. Garrett Sheaves acts as the assistant director, and producers include Kevin McKelly, Andrew Garrettson, and Jamie Roberts, with other executive producers including Ricky Brava, Anton Gloster, Sean Nightingale, Mark Gold, Matthew James McCarthy, and Peter Drago Timon. Editing was handled by Michael Tang, with music by Jared Foreman, and cinematography by Adrian M. Pruitt, Justin Janowitz, Chance Roberts, and Michael G. Welch. Sound design was handled by Danny Knutson, with makeup and practical effects by Jill Hallwell, Angela Annette Balmer, and Mary Bowering. Special and visual effects include Jason L. Lowe, Ryan Spickard, Peter Drago Timon, and Jonathan McClintock. With production design by Jana Serbu. Stunt coordinators for the film include Ryan Spickard, Peter Drago Timon, and Hazard Factory Stunts and FX. The art department was helmed by Heather Bloom, with Krista DeVarmo and Eric Wilson, with the director of photography being Adrian Pruitt. Production and distribution for the film was handled by Fresh Cats Productions, Papa Octopus Productions, and Sony Pictures Home Entertainment, along with Vega Baby. Big Legend was released June 13, 2018 at the Portland Horror Film Festival, with a DVD release date of July 3, 2018, with a run time of over 1 hour and 29 minutes. The budget for the film is unknown, but the approximate box office is over $41,839 in DVD sales. The film is currently unrated with a 4.7 out of 10 on IMDb, a 60% out of Rotten Tomatoes, a 3.5 out of 5 on Bloody Disgusting, and a 2.5 out of 5 on Deadly Central, and a reception that's mostly mixed to positive. Filming locations include Lewis River Falls of Gifford Pinchot National Forest in Washington State, along with many other Washington State counties, as well as the town of Cougar, Washington, and Mount St. Helens during the month of December. The film actually has a nomination, being the winner of the Portland Horror Film Festival Award with the Masque Rouge Award for Best Performance to Todd A. Robinson. The film opens to a happy couple going for a camping trip in Gifford Pinchot National Forest to Mount St. Helens. Tyler Laird, played by Kevin McKelly, a former Army Ranger, and his girlfriend, Natalie, played by Summer Spyro, set camp and enjoy a full day in the forest off the grid. While stopping at a picturesque waterfall, Tyler also proposes to Natalie. They then spend the rest of the evening together and head to bed, but later are awoken by strange groans and wood knocking. They try to go back to sleep, but a bell trap that Tyler had set up earlier goes off, and he leaves the tent and Natalie to investigate. After he finds strange claw marks in a small rock structure, Natalie is attacked and dragged away in the tent by an unseen creature, leaving Tyler alone and helpless. We then cut to a year later where Tyler resides at the Cowlitz County Psychiatric Ward. He talks with his therapist, Dr. Wheeler, played by Amanda Weiss, about his progress and release. He admits that he's still dealing with survivor's guilt over Natalie's disappearance, as her body has not yet been recovered. Dr. Wheeler asks him about what he believes happened that night, and he half-heartedly says that it was just a bear attack. As she signs his release papers, he says that he also believes she may still be alive, and leaves. Still haunted by the memories of that night, he visits his mother, Rita Laird, played by the iconic Adrienne Barbeau, and seeks her opinion about how to move forward. After telling him the story of his search for the Easter Bunny, she encourages him to go back to where everything happened and find the truth and closure. Tyler then goes through a box of evidence found at the scene and looks through Natalie's camera. As he scrolls through the pictures, he finds one with a mysterious figure watching them from afar. He then gathers his gear and weapons and heads for the site of the attack. After arriving, he sets up camp and starts his trek. Along the way, he finds small hanging totems and a large footprint that makes him uneasy. After a long day of searching, he returns to his truck after his backpack goes missing. The next morning, Tyler awakes to his truck under attack by some kind of animal. It rips the door clean off but disappears as a stranger shows up offering assistance. The stranger takes Tyler to his camp and while sharing some beer reveals his name is Eli Verone, played by Todd A. Robinson, and says he knows Tyler from news reports a year prior. And just a note, pretty much calls him Chief the whole movie. Like, Chief is the most well-spoken word throughout this whole movie. Tyler deduces that Eli is a poacher, to which he admits that no one cares since it's private property anyway, and owned by Xylon Inc., however no one from the company ever visits the land. After Tyler becomes suspicious of Eli, he takes him deeper into the forest and explains that his father taught him to never go beyond the sacred markers left behind by the Chinook people. The markers seem to go on for miles, and Eli believes they are meant to keep something in or out. He then tells Tyler that the only time that he ever went beyond the border was to help him that morning. The two then return to Eli's camp, which has been ransacked, and a large log has been left standing erect in the middle of the fire. They are then startled by a loud roar emanating from the woods. Later, while walking, Eli finds another marker that has been broken and deduces that whatever it is might no longer be contained and is now allowed to roam free, but Tyler writes this off as nonsense. After hearing another loud roar, Tyler and Eli stumble into what appears to be a nest filled with both human and animal remains, as well as Tyler's missing backpack. Then, a large rock is hurled at Eli, breaking his leg. Tyler is able to grab Eli, and they make a hasty retreat. After taking a break and addressing Eli's wound, Tyler decides to go back to the nest for medical supplies in his backpack. After returning to the nest, Tyler finds Natalie's engagement ring, and realizing the truth of her fate, he breaks down but flees after the monster returns. He goes back to Eli and fixes his leg, and the two hike to a lake where they make camp. Also note, in the scene where he's addressing the wound across these weeks, I don't know what kind of fake blood they used, but it's orange. It's orange blood. Like hunting orange. I would grab a... It's like this orange. Or maybe this orange. It ain't red. It ain't like this red or that red. Or that red. It's orange. As the two men talk that night, the creature arrives and stalks them, but is warded off by the campfire. Days later, as snow begins to fall, they make camp elsewhere, and that night, Eli pleads for Tyler to leave him and save himself, but Tyler refuses. Later, while taking first watch, Eli leaves his hat and walks into the night. The next morning, after Tyler finds Eli missing, he goes to search for him. He finds some of his belongings at the site of an attack and is alerted after hearing him scream. Tyler then stumbles upon the monster feeding on Eli's body and flees with the monster in hot pursuit. The thing eventually catches up and begins knocking him around, but Tyler fights back, stabbing in the leg and shooting it with his revolver, making it run away. Badly beaten, Tyler tends to his wounds and begins forging makeshift weapons Dutch style. The next morning, he makes his way past his destroyed Jeep into Eli's old camp. He then finds Eli's truck with gasoline and spotlights and begins setting up the camp as one big trap for one final stand. To entice the beast, he blares the car horn and gets into position. Later that night, his plan goes into motion as the monster shows up. Tyler stabs it with a spear and gets into the truck. The monster then flips the truck and drags Tyler out. The two are finally face to face and begin trading blows. Eventually, Tyler takes the monster to its knees and then shoots a propane tank and lights a flare. He bids the thing farewell with an action hero one-liner and sets the camp ablaze, causing a propane tank to explode, and the creature flees into the night on fire and in pain. Believing he's won, Tyler breathes a sigh of relief. The next morning, he collapses on a mountain road and is picked up by a driver played by Scotty Mazguy, who also plays the Beast. He later wakes up in a hospital and meets Nurse Katie, played by Ashley Platts. She asks him some questions before introducing him to Jackson Wells, played by the legendary Lance Henriksen. Wells tells Tyler he doesn't have to worry about getting sent back to the loony bin, and he gives Tyler back the engagement ring and explains that he too deals with things that go bump in the night. He then asks Tyler if he killed the beast, to which Tyler explains he shot it, stabbed it, and set it on fire. Wells replies that he only succeeded in pissing the thing off, and he then reveals that he and Katie are a part of a team and are recruiting. The film then ends with the tease that Tyler Laird and Jackson Wells will return in Justin Lee's sequel film or series called The Monster Chronicles. However, to note The Monster Chronicles, nothing has come out of it. This movie came out in 2018, it's 2024. Nothing has come of The Monster Chronicles, unfortunately, as much as I would love to have seen what comes next, because Big Legend is a very good movie in my opinion. And the film currently has only a kill count of 2. It is a very more atmospheric horror movie, and well, I need to get into my thoughts towards the end of the video. Courtesy of a Daily Dead article interview with Justin Lee, the writer and director, we get to see some of the imagination and ideas that went into Big Legend. Justin grew up in the Pacific Northwest and was heavily inspired by local Bigfoot folklore, as well as his Bigfoot believer friend and main actor, producer, Kevin McKelly. Kevin really wanted to make a Bigfoot movie, and with Justin's help in writing a script, they decided to tie it into Justin's other already finished story called The Monster Chronicles, and shortly after started to get production underway. Lee wanted to make a movie in the spirit of movies that inspired him, such as Cujo, Howling, and Critters, but also have it as a one-man versus monster with fleeting glimpses film in the vein of Jaws or Predator, and relying on practical effects. The Bigfoot suit itself in the film actually consisted of over 3 million yak hairs. Lee and crew had one major obstacle to get through. With over a week until shooting was set to begin, a major snowstorm, the largest in over 30 years, was about to hit them head on. With this, Lee had to carefully intercut scenes to gradually incorporate the growing snow as the movie progressed. While doing research for Big Legend, I actually got to talk with one of the main actors, Todd A. Robinson. He was a really cool guy, one of the most fun people to talk to while doing the research process for this whole series. Just a really cool guy, gave a ton of insight into the making of the movie. Just talking about all the shenanigans, all the facts, and just everything that went on, all the fun stories of how Big Legend was made, which I'll read off right here. The shoot for Big Legend was quite an adventure. We took over the town of Cougar, Washington during their off-season. We actually created jobs when the only bar and grill in town had to bring back some of their summer employees to serve our cast and crew at the end of our shoot days. The local KJ DJ even left his karaoke setup at the bar so we could have nightly entertainment. My co-star Kevin McKelly is one of my best friends. We had a ton of fun making the movie, but we both got totally beat up during the shoot. We both did 100% of our own stunts and endured some seriously inclement weather conditions. The camera crew always wanted to shoot things right off the road or at the edge of the forest. But Kevin and I were constantly twisting the director's arm to go deeper into the woods and find the most picturesque locations. Needless to say, we were not very popular. Haha. I even got up extra early one morning and shoveled the snow off a logging road so that the camera and grip truck could get to the location that we wanted to shoot. It was one of the coolest sequences in the movie. My favorite scene is the one where Eli takes Tyler to his camp and they chat over beers. We shot that at 8 a.m. and we drank a 6-pack each during that scene. We ended up a bit tipsy and weren't extremely productive the rest of the day. The assistant director Garrett Sheaves was obviously quite frustrated with us. We also shot at the base of Mount St. Helens in December, so it was nasty. I'm very proud of this little movie. Kevin and I still both get messages from horror and Bigfoot fans who love it, and I got to meet and hang out with Lance Henriksen, so there's that too. And honestly, can't blame him. I mean, yeah, I'd love to meet Lance Henriksen too. I'm a big fan of him. And it's really funny that he plays in all these Bigfoot horror movies. I think I addressed that in a future script. But anyway, to move on, Big Legend is so great, and we gotta talk about the monster. The monster, I think I love it so much because it really reminds me of Snow Beast in a way, because it's so shaggy, almost dog-like in a way. It's got the covering the face. Unfortunately, I don't have the DVD with me. I don't have the DVD, but it's a really cool monster, really cool design, and it just really reminds me of Snow Beast, which I think is why it gives that natural look to it, like I don't know. It just looks natural to me more so than, say, Snow Beast 2011 or Monstrous. A lot of care went into the making of this monster, and I especially love these fight scenes. It is so dope, especially when Tyler rips out the axe and swings it. Like, the choreography was really well done for this movie. Like, this is one of my favorite ones, I think, to go back and watch. I think in total it may be my second or third favorite Bigfoot horror movie, behind some of the ones that are going to come up later. And in terms of Bigfoot horror movies, it's my favorite of the previous 4 that I've reviewed so far. All in all, the cinematography is well done. There are some gaps, like like I said, the orange blood, but the actors do a really great job. Some of them for the very few minutes that they're in the film, especially, Lance Henriksen, Adrian Barbeau. But I really do think that Todd A. Robinson and Kevin McKelly, look at my script, but I think they both did a really good job in this film. They really sell their characters, and I really enjoyed it. But overall, I just really enjoyed this movie, and for my rating, I've got to give it an 8 out of 10. Really enjoyed it. It's a solid, fun little Bigfoot movie, especially if you're a fan of Bigfoot horror movies. I enjoyed the whole thing. So, all in all, thanks guys for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Hope y'all enjoyed this Bigfoot horror film review episode. And stay tuned for the next one. Although the next one has Bigfoot in it, I'm kind of breaking my rules because I really wanted to cover this film. It is actually a very good movie, even though Bigfoot plays a smaller part in it. You can probably already guess what it is based on the intro. But thanks guys for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Please check out Big Legend. And thank you to Todd A. Robinson for answering a lot of my questions in our chats. Really great to talk with him. Stay tuned for the next few episodes in the Bigfoot horror review series. And let's hit the 10,000 subscriber mark. And, of course, happy Halloween.